Wind them up. Wind them up, make the 3 viewers reload. Reload, everybody. Reload your screens. Come on. Come on, trolls. Get in there. Kick it up. We don't have any trolls. We need some troll. We have one troll. We have at least one troll, sometimes 2. We have more trolls showing up for the other show.
Well, yeah, it's because the other show is more fun. Yeah. This one's more work-oriented.
Yeah, this one's kind of straightforward. Well, it's kind of cool, though, is we actually had... Oh, shit. Hang on. Reload, everybody. Reload. Come on.
Turn off the sound.
Yeah, turn off the sound on the other computer.
And don't forget to share your screen with me.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So we actually had quite a few people enter the last contest draw. It was kind of nice.
Nice. That's always good.
Yeah.
Makes it feel a little bit more like a regular contest rather than maybe, possibly.
Yeah, no, it was really kind of cool. We got our 3 winners, and it's all good. So I was really kind of happy to see that many people show up. I had a note from somebody which wasn't really a note. Let's see here. Oh. Okay.
Did I lose you? No, I didn't.
No,
lose
you
you.
didn't.
Okay.
I'm looking to see if I can use this note in as far as when we talk about the contest. I guess we can. I can use that note. I don't have to use the name of them.
Mm-hmm. Could also just be that we had a really cool prize this time.
Well, we've had really cool prizes every time. Even the next one. Even the next one's a really cool prize. They're all cool prizes. They're really nice licenses that we're giving away.
True. But this one is just really cool.
Yeah, they're licenses that can't be bought. You know, these are special licenses that can't be bought. Companies don't give away lifetime licenses or sell them anymore.
Yeah, I guess it turned out to not be the best business model for keeping income.
No, it's a piss poor business model for it, because once you sell everybody a license and you don't have any fresh customers coming in, all you're doing is keeping support of the product, and you got no money to keep doing it. Unfortunately, you got to keep money flowing to do work, because as it sucks in the world is that everyone's got bills to pay. The landlords The landlords want their rent, or the mortgage companies want their mortgage stuff, on and on it goes.
Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows.
There we go. Let's see. Now we got the recording device working. There it is. Recording device is now working. All right. Where are we at? We still got a few minutes to go. We're looking good. Get it all worked and round up.
I think I found my new favorite chocolate bar.
Oh, okay.
It's an Aero bar, and it's cherry cheesecake with dark chocolate.
Yeah, I hate Aeros.
I apparently love Aeros, which I didn't know until recently. I thought I didn't like them, but it turns out I really do. Maybe it's just because the dark chocolate with cherry cheesecake flavoring is just awesome.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
When you stop by today, I'll give you a piece, and you can tell me if you still think it's horrible.
I every time I've tried Aeros, I've always disliked them, so I'm not gonna try it. It's just something about the mass amounts of air in the bloody thing.
Well, you're not supposed to chew it. You're supposed to
you're supposed to let it melt on your tongue. Yes, I know. I don't like it for some reason. I just don't like it.
Okay, you're just weird.
I am weird. I will always be weird.
You're weird and mildly broken, but that's okay.
I'm pretty sure most humans are weird and mildly broken.
In general, yeah. If we weren't, then we wouldn't be able to sell each other things like Aero bars.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so it looks like everything's working.
Squirrel!
Yep, that's working.
That was loud and sudden.
Yeah. You must have your volume turned up too loud.
No, it was just that was louder than your voice.
Oh, that's because I haven't hit my recording volume yet in my voice.
Aha! So my ears were used to that, and you threw that up there. It was like a yell.
Yeah, I'm not pulling my voice down from my diaphragm yet. I change that when I go live. I sit up a little straighter and I start to pull my voice down from deeper in. All right, let's see what we got. Got all that. Got all that. Everything there is looking good. Coming up on the hour for a show for the few people that are sitting in there listening early. Just a couple people.
Well, the pre-stream is the best part because we talk about the most random things, like arrow bars.
That's pretty much what it is. It's just a random bits to get warmed up to the show and make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to. Is that something's weird there? What was going on? Oh, that's okay. Never mind. It's fine.
Random thought.
What?
If trees actually became mobile, like Ents in Lord of the Rings, do you think they would take over the world with their extreme strength, or do you think they'd just kind of wander around like the Ents and lose their wives?
I have no idea. On that thought there, let's go to some good music, bad singing, and take us to showtime.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Not saying they're right or wrong. I ain't no Texan dancer, Lord knows where I belong. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the chigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger. Guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads. Is he yours or is he mine? Story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, Joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
And there we have it. All right, it is showtime, folks. So without much further delay, let's get this rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
A return to the light. It's episode 517, and we have plugins for email management, social media publishing, radio player, restricting content, admin color schemes, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever-lovely
Amber overall.
And we have a great show for you today, but before we jump into anything, I want to take one moment and just acknowledge it is my departed brother's birthday today. Just because I wanted to do that. I like to recognize his birthday. He would have been 51 years old this year. So, at any rate, happy birthday out to you, Gerald. All right, we are now 66 weeks and the count continues. Trust the plan. Life is what it is. The show continues on. Before we get too far into it, don't forget, join us at the end of the show for the Q&A segment with Amber. Sometimes it's rather entertaining, and other times, well, not so much, but I think it's going to be quite entertaining today. And of course, we do split it in two. Half of it goes with those of you listening to the podcast on your phones or whatever device. The other half stays over on the YouTube channel. So if you want to hear the other half of the questions, you got to pop to the YouTube channel and watch them. Just slide to the end of the show somewhere. You'll find them. All right. With all of that, it is time.
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Hello.
Sorry, Kid is asking me a question.
Oh, I was going to say, and her head is gone.
Sorry about that. Kid is attempting to make bread, and she needs to know if the yeast had risen properly.
Oh.
So, so this is number 25 of 52 episodes for 2021, which 25 and 52 palindrome episode. It's kind of cool. So it's episode 517. And it's now summer, which is something we're always looking forward to. We wish for it during the winter, and then it appears and it seems like it has boxing gloves and it's hitting our face with it.
Yeah.
It's so warm right now. I mean, I'm really happy to be warm and have longer days, but having the heat go from like 15 a couple weeks ago up to like 30 now is just, it's not enough time to get used to it. It's a little rougher than I generally appreciate from Mother Nature. So if you do manage to get outside, remember to bring water or make some lemonade. Rather important to get the salt and sugar alongside the water into you while it's hot out. Take lots of breaks in the shade. And if you don't manage to get outside, open a window to get some fresh air at least. Sitting in recycled air isn't the best for you all the time, even if it's colder than outside. And remember to turn off that media. Have a nap, read a book, enjoy the lazy summer as much as you can. And the media, radio, and TV will just kill that enjoyment of the lazy, sunny summer day. Rinse and repeat as often as needed.
Absolutely.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John Overall.
And Amber.
So first one I've got is Automatic launches Maryland blocks. It's the second FSC theme on WordPress.org. So this seems to be a thing where the blocks getting fancy is exciting for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really too interested in the blocks. Like I'm not using
Gutenberg.
There we go. Thank you. I'm not using Gutenberg much yet. I've only really sort of kind of been playing with it, but I'm starting to get an understanding why these new shiny blocks showing up is so exciting for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
This one seems pretty decent.
Well, it's going to be lots of interest in it. And of course, well, those of us that tried to crush Gutenberg and lost, well, we just have to, suck it up and learn to work with Gutenberg, because by the end of this year, they're probably going to drop support for the Classic Editor. So for those that haven't wrapped their head around it yet, time to start doing it. You've got no choice. If you're going to stay in the WordPress ecosystem, you've got no choice. It's not going away.
Next one I've got is WooCommerce has chosen Paystack as their preferred payments partner, at least in Africa. These guys are a free plugin, and they seem to be making it pretty big. I'm not entirely sure how a plugin that is sent out for free is managing to keep themselves going monetarily, but I mean, free, so they're good to use.
Well, the plugin's probably done by Paystack, and Paystack probably takes a commission off of it, just like PayPal does. So I'd imagine that's how they make their money. And of course, since it's recommended by WooCommerce, everybody will jump on board. So they'll do all right. But one big thing is if it's something that works in Africa, because PayPal doesn't always work in Africa. It only works in a couple of African countries. PayPal is very limited in certain countries across the globe. So it looks like it's something that they're focusing on for African merchants.
Makes sense. Next one is info on Windows 11 from ZDNet or ZDNet. A basic overview of what's coming to us in the form of Windows 11. Windows 11, the biggest issue that people are finding right away is that the bar on the side, the menu bar thing, where all of your little icons are for what you have open. Yeah. They've changed it. They've revamped it. You can change the settings to put it back to the way that it is that you're used to. But that seems to be the biggest complaint. And considering that's the biggest complaint so far, it doesn't seem like too much of an issue.
Yeah, well, let's hope that's all it is. But yeah, Windows has not always been my friend. Not since Windows 6. Windows 6 was fantastic, but since Windows 6, it's not always been my friend. I've had more problems with it off and on over the years since then.
Oh, Vista was terrible.
Vista definitely sucked. Vista definitely sucked wind. That was their big gargantuan mistake.
Yeah.
All right.
So if anybody's interested in knowing what to look forward to in Windows 11, that's a good article to check out. Next one I've got is Astra 3.5 is out and going strong. It's got faster loading, new controls, improved accessibility. It seems to be going pretty well. So
Astra's a pretty good theme. We've been using it now ourselves for about a year and a half when I bought the license last year. And it seems to be doing well, although I think a couple of their updates have broken a couple of things on my tavern site, and I still can't get them fixed. So.
Oh no.
So one of the problems is my maps, my Google Maps don't display in my directory properly anymore, and I'm not even certain what it is that did it. So.
That's no good.
Other than that, I have heard some, because Astra does have some problems where they just release stuff and they create bugs, and they don't thoroughly test before releasing, but they're still a good theme. They're better than others.
Yeah, well, at least they aren't forcing you to update. They just tell you it's update time. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's true. You got to do the upgrades. I should have known better, but I did. Sometimes I pay very close attention. Other times I don't, and I do updates, and then all of a sudden shit's broken. And I can't figure out why or how I broke it. Oh well.
The next one is Elementor has some great advice on how busy developers can build a successful social media presence. This is actually a very useful article. It's a way to set it up so that a lot of things are automated, and a way to figure out what parts of your information will work best in the social media marketing. So if you're busy and you find that you don't have much of a social media presence because you just don't have the time, check this out. It'll probably help you out pretty well. Cool. Just, gotta find the time to read it.
Well, if you get things automated, and if you're managing to create posts for your site or new content for your site, and it's all automated to publish it, that could save you a ton of time.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And I've got two more here. One is how to know when you've been hacked. With all the hacking that's been going on, it's probably a good thing to know, and this explains it in layman's terms rather than geek speak or anything else.
Yep.
And then the last one is, I found this article interesting. It's, have we reached the peak for ransomware? The officials and professionals seem to believe that we may have actually reached the peak and that we may actually be going down in the amount of ransomware we have for one reason or another, which this should be interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to pay attention to, what's happening there.
And then we've got the extras, which you can check out at our Facebook or Twitter page. And it just has things like Tips Tuesday with Mayanna. What happens if what happens when the algorithm can't see you at all? How to make money with your freemium plugins, and things for people who follow Bitcoin. Just a bunch of random things that might be interesting to our listeners.
Absolutely. Well, go check them out, folks. All right, it is time to go to the part of the show that, you know, is very, very interesting. We talk about this.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A to Z.
Absolutely. This is where we like to recognize the producers of our show, those that provide their time, talent, or treasure to help this show out. And what we're looking at right now is we're acknowledging the producers that provide some talent for the show. First off, we want to talk about the artwork. We change the artwork every single episode so that we get cool, unique artwork. I haven't had to produce it for quite some time. We get in quite a few in here. Today's artwork comes to us from Angel Lamu of Koa Digital. So thanks again, Angel. It's a really cool little, looks like a moon orbiting the moon with the WP plugins logo up there. So I thought it was kind of a cool one, you know. And I just liked it for some reason. So thanks a lot, Angel. We greatly appreciate you giving us of your talent to this show. And any artist that would like to do that, there's a link in the show notes where you can go check out all the artwork that's submitted now. And you can create an account and then start submitting your own artwork here on the channel. And it'll appear in the category. I've got to fix the category right now. It's still working on May. And we're in the end of June, so I guess I'll have to just create one for July. So, and we'll be able to categorize the art by month. So little by little, we'll get along better and better with it.
I like today's because it definitely kind of represents how my head is today. I'm rather space cadet-y today, or spacey. Head in the cloud, head in the space.
There you go. I like it. Head into space. So thanks again, Angel. And also, you know, thank you out there to those that provide talent to help this show. If you'd like, or time to help the show out, if you got time you want to submit, we could use somebody to help us manage the artwork section of the site and make it so it runs a little smoother and cleaner and more accurate. And a big thank you to Charlie, who does our contests out there. He manages and gets those contest stuff in, and we'll be talking about the contest a little later in the show. So thank you for those that providing your time and talent. And for those of you providing treasure, well, there's a few of you out there that are donating a couple of bucks here and there, monthly donations. You know, every once in a while, a few bucks arrives in the PayPal account. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. If you'd like to get acknowledged for it, donate $50 or more, and we will read out whatever note you toss us. So thank you very much for everybody for supporting the show. All right. With all of that, it is time to head off into the depths of plugin depravity for what everyone shows up here for the show for. All right, ClassicPress options. We really don't have ClassicPress options this week that I'm aware of. No,
not really. We had talked about not really looking at even trying to do anything for ClassicPress other than just presenting information to our listeners in the show notes.
Yep.
Just because we don't really have the time to do ClassicPress, and it's just kind of fallen to the wayside. So I think we're just going to keep up the ClassicPress resources and leave it at that for everyone.
Yep, that'll be pretty much it. Unless some of our listeners, ClassicPress users, send us information, we'll happily get it in here and give you full credit for that work and effort.
Absolutely.
All right, into WordPress plugins. And what I have this week, the first one I've got out the gate, is called Mail Road Switch. This looks to be a pretty useful plugin. If you're an administrator on a WordPress website, you know how many different emails you get. And you know some of them shouldn't even come to you. You know, there's the auto update emails, there's the site error emails, there's new user emails, there's jQuery migrate. Somebody messed up my typing on that because I actually put jQuery in there. It now says jQuery. jQuery. That's it. Yeah, somebody messed up my word there. At any rate, jQuery migrate more. With this plugin, you can go in and set an email address for all of these different spots that the emails get sent to. So you might not even have to see those error emails anymore if you're not the one to handle the errors, you know, or you might not handle the ones for users or any like that. You can get them sent to all the proper people without you having to see all the extra junk and crap. Really great little plugin. It's brand new, fresh off the boat, and I give it a 5 dragon rating.
So it's like you become a post office box.
Yep.
That's cool. First one I've got is Radio Player, Live Shout Case, Ice Case. I don't think it's supposed to be Ice Case. I think it auto-corrected on me.
Icecast.
Icecast, an audio stream player for WordPress. So it's a long name, but it's a pretty awesome little plugin. Fresh off the press as well. I think all of the plugins I did today are all pretty brand new. And what this does is it gives you a sticky player for your page or pages that can be a pop-up, full width, or you can even have multiple on the same page, all of different things or all the same things if you want. You can play MP3, M3, U8, which I'm not even sure what that is. You can do a stream. And there are many options as well for how you can make it look. Size, color, where it goes, etc. This uses a short code, or you can use an Elementor widget, Gutenberg widget, or a sidebar widget, depending on what you're using to create your pages. It's definitely something you want to look into if you're doing streams and or MP3s. If you're doing those often, this could be very useful. I really like their Get Started thing they have when you download the plugin and activate it too. You click on that and it gives you a rundown of how you can do everything, gives you the short codes, all the options. It's really, really useful. Definitely recommend checking this out. They are still new, so there may still be some issues, or usually are, though I didn't find any during my perusal of it. I rate this at 5 dragons.
Excellent. Does look like cool, but you put more than 1 or 2 on a page. I guess it's for the real ADH people.
Or you have like an article, and then you can there's also people who listen to stuff rather than read it, right? Yeah. So if you have it recorded where people can just listen to each one. Mm-hmm. They did that when I was in school. They'd have like their textbook, and you could actually just click play and listen to every chapter on the textbook. So. Yeah.
Alrighty, well, the next one I have for you is localhost to IP. This is a very simple little plugin, and this is good for those of you that might be doing local development, and periodically you need to share that local development to your client or whatever. And while some of them have ways to do it, what this plugin allows you to do is on your local settings is to go in and change the URL from your local host to an IP address, so that you can easily share that out for people to look at the site over and have a good look at it. The one caveat is, local host, depends on what your router does. You may or may not get through, but excuse me. It is one way to help be able to share it out with you. Very simple plugin. I thought it was kind of cool. Something to bring to everyone's attention that might be something you could use. Go check it out. It's localhost to IP, and I give it a 5 dragon rating. Oops, wrong button.
For some reason, every time you say local host, I keep hearing loco.
Mm-hmm. Local?
That's all I hear. Local host.
Local host. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There should be a plugin named local host.
Yeah.
That could be a really great prank plugin, actually. Call it local host, make everything all local.
Oh.
All right, next one I have is Nuts for Press Restricted Contents. This is an interesting plugin. What they do is they make it set the option to restrict a page appears on the right-hand side of the editing area instead of as an option in the settings area. Like every plugin I've checked out so far that's a restriction plugin, they always have like a list of your pages and posts, and they have you they have you choose which ones you want restricted. Here, you do it right in the editing when you are creating the page as to whether or not you want it restricted. And then in the settings, you get to choose what page people will be sent to if they're not logged in as a courtesy page, which I think this is really cool. When you're creating the page, you just copy and paste the link into the spot they give you for the courtesy page. If they're not logged in, they get sent to the courtesy page.
Nice.
I thought it was pretty cool, and it's total freemium. Also pretty new, and I rate it at 5 dragons.
Okay, and the final one I've got for you today is Social Media Publish. This is a plugin to help automate your social media publishing. That goes along with that news article we talked about a little while ago. Mm-hmm. And what this one does, this helps you auto-publish to Instagram and Facebook. It doesn't do any other medias at the current time. It is a brand new plugin, so maybe they'll add some stuff later. You just got to go create the client ID and secret code in Facebook. They may have instructions in it. I haven't installed it because I already have automation on my sites set up. But I thought this might be an interesting one to bring to everyone's attention. They set it up. And the nice thing about this one, too, is not only will it auto-publish your post once you create it, you can go back in at a later time and manually republish the post, thereby pushing it out a second time or a third or 10th or however many times you want to shove it out to your social media and annoy all your social media fans. Ooh. At any rate, an interesting plugin. I thought it was one that would be great. You know, has a little bit of extra work you got to go and do to it. In other words, getting set up with the Facebook client ID. So I give this one a 4 dragon rating. Go check it out. Social Media Publish.
That seems pretty neat. Last one I've got is Retro Color Scheme. This one is just cool. I mean, if you want to pull a silly prank on someone, download and activate this plugin, go into their profile and select Retro Color Scheme. My God, the colors are terrible, but hilarious. It's great, honestly. Like it's not colors that I could handle working in for very long, but it's fun. It could also be just, I mean, also I'm sure there are people who actually appreciate this color scheme and who don't think it's horrible and who think that this would be great for them to have as everyday usage. Really easy and simple to use. Could be a lot of fun. Total freebie. I give it a 5 dragon rating.
Sounds kind of cool. Probably has the olive green retro from the 1970s kitchens.
Oh yeah, and the bright orange. The bright orange is what you get for like your sidebar in the top there, and the way that they have the colors kind of wrapped around, it's almost how the colors appear, just in a different order than in the box they show.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all it needs now is shed carpeting. You're good and set to go. All right. This show is still brought to you by. Are you tired of the same old web hosting? Not having the resources you need to run your website properly? Having a lack of control? Then you need johnoverall.com web hosting, providing you with all the resources you need to smoothly run your WordPress website or ClassicPress website. With strict limits on the number of clients allowed per server, johnoverall.com provides high-quality, fast server performance. Visit johnoverall.com for web hosting that won't slow you down. Absolutely. Very fast web hosting, and my last server is filling up quick, folks. I still got a few spaces left, but once they're gone, they're gone. So when you hear this ad disappear entirely, you'll know that I'm all filled up on my servers. All right. It is time for our...
It's a contest. WordPress plugins from A to Z.
Absolutely. Thanks to Steve Goodtime and Brant Matthews for that jingle. And our contests are powered by the Simple Giveaways plugin. These guys are kind enough to provide us with the premium version of their plugin to run our contests. And it's a really great plugin, only occasionally has a glitch like we had this morning in the selection of our winners. But Other than that, really great plugin, and they've added so much to it. I hadn't paid attention to it for 6 to 8 months, and their latest updates, they've added a lot of things you can do with the contests in here. It's like I've been using this plugin since it was brand new and very straight and simple, and it just keeps getting better year after year. So go check it out. All right, our contest for last week. We had a contest for 3 big premium licenses from Bloxy. There was an agency lifetime license, there was the professional lifetime license, and a personal lifetime license. And we had 3 winners from that. So congratulations out to Louis Hermengildo, who got the personal license, Martin Wedipol, who got the professional license, and then Ellison Meyer, who got the agency license. So congratulations to you guys for winning that license. I was really happy to see how many people entered this contest. It was really quite cool to see that many people enter these contests. Now, I do have one quick note that came in from one of the winners here today. And note goes simply, what a great way to start the day. I just received your Stella notification. Thank you, John, for a marvelous podcast. I listen every week, but have never entered a giveaway. I will enter every time now. Kind regards.
Nice.
So thanks a lot. Greatly appreciate it. Don't worry, those licenses will get to you as soon as we can get them to you guys. I've gotten 2 of the notifications back. When I get them all, then everybody gets their licenses. So they will arrive. And again, thank you, Charlie, for organizing and arranging this. And if you want to find out more about the Bloxy license, Charlie gave a great review as a guest on our show back in episode 515. So it's a really great review. So go check out episode 515 and hear what Charlie had to say about this plugin and what it can do for you. All right, our new contest. We do have a new contest up and running now. You can find it over at the contest page. It should be live now. Hopefully it went live like it was supposed to. I'm not sure. Yep, there it is. Oh, no, that's the Bloxy one. We got to fix the link. Got the wrong link in here. Wrong link in the show notes.
That's easily fixable, though.
Yeah. Let's see if this one here. Yeah, it's still going to the Bloxy one. Okay, we got to fix the link in the show notes. All right, let's fix the link in the show notes, but you can go directly to the contest page itself to get to the contests that are up and running and live, and hopefully this one here is fixed too. Otherwise, I'm still, all the links in the show notes are messed up. All right, so go find it at wpplugins.com/contest to get to the contest and enter the contest. We are giving away a single site lifetime license valued at $599 for Orderable. Orderable is a plugin to make online ordering a breeze and very profitable. And I haven't dug into this plugin just yet, but I will be getting more information on it. But it does look like a really great plugin, but to get one that's a lifetime license and you don't have to pay for it. Hey, what a deal, folks. Make sure you get out there and enter the contest and then go check out Orderable. They do have a demo site that shows you how it all works and what it does. It can be used for ordering online, ordering food, products, miscellaneous things. They've got a whole lot of stuff, except pickup and delivery orders. So it's something that could help you if this is part of your business or if you're building out something for a client. You could win the license you need to deal with it.
That'd be cool.
All right. And we are going to cover out a couple of things, closing out the show bits before we head into the Q&A segment, because, of course, we split it. So we got to play the closing credits. I covered up in this episode the Mailroad switch, which I gave a 5 to, the localhost IP, which I gave a 5 to, and the social media publish, which I gave a 4 to.
It was almost an all-5 show.
Almost.
I covered radio player, live shout case. I don't think ice case is right, but ice case and audio stream player for WordPress, which I gave a 5. Nuts for press restricted contents, which I gave a 5. And retro color scheme, which I gave a 5.
Very good. All right. Couple of quick reminders. One reminder, and we needed to let everyone know this, and it didn't make it into the show notes, but it's a good thing it's still in my head. Next week is Canada Day. Thursday, July 1st is Canada Day. We are not going to do a live show. I'm going to disappear into the hinterlands of central Vancouver Island. And, but there will be a show. It won't be a full-blown show of everything we do like today, but it'll be a shorter show, but it will go live at noon on Canada Day. So we won't be here live, but we still will have a show. And with a little luck, we'll not only have the one that goes out on YouTube, but also the podcast that drops as normal at precisely noon on Canada Day. I just want to get away. The weather next week is forecast for 35 to 40 degrees. It's like I'm all game for that. More heat, the better. So want to get away and just let everyone know that we won't be live next week. We just will be a regular dropped podcast.
I think I put under the wrong reminders. There's another reminders closer to the end of the show notes.
Ah, okay. Well, I kind of expected it here. That's okay. All right.
Sorry.
There is a meetup that's sort of planned. This is not an official. I've published it in our calendar meetup. It's going to happen on July 10th. And it's going to happen up in central Cowichan Valley area of Vancouver Island. And anyone that's interested, send an email to me, john@wppro.ca, and I will give you instructions on how to find the Oasis, because it's going to be at the Oasis. It's going to start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, go for however many hours. It's going to be up on the brand new deck that's being finished right now, around the fire pit, the grassy area, wander in the garden. Basically a nice, enjoyable afternoon. I'm hoping that it doesn't rain. But if it does rain, well, so be it. We got a covering on the deck too, so we'll stay dry and enjoy ourselves one way or another. At any rate,
I'm excited to see this deck.
Yeah, well, it's been a lot of work. Been a lot of work getting the deck done. I've still got another week's worth of work on it. So, at any rate, it will be ready by July 10th.
Awesome.
All right, that takes us off to.
It's question and answer time.
Whenever.
So if anybody out there has any questions that I'd like to have asked on here, send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and I will get them into the segment. We'll see if we can either get an answer or stump my dad. One of the two.
One of the two. And if if all else fails, I'll just, create something out of nothing. I'll just make up an answer.
That works. So first one I've got is, it's got like 3 questions attached to it.
Okay.
So when you're working on a new client site, one of the things done is looking over the plugins.
Right.
So what are you looking for when looking at whether or not your client's plugins need replacing? Should I read them all for you?
Read them all.
Okay.
They all tie
How
together.
do you know whether or not the plugins are still working? Do you need to test them beforehand? How do you know that the plugins you are thinking of replacing what they have with work better than the ones that are already there?
The simple answer is I've been looking at so many plugins for so many years, I tend to know which ones are which. But the reality is, when you get a new client site, you're going to revamp it, redesign it, or whatever. You got to look and see what plugins they've got, which ones need to go. You got to look at the theme, see if the theme or the theme builder needs to go. And basically it boils down to, when you get it and you look at it, you go through all the plugins and look to see if any of them are old. Now that unfortunately has to be done on a manual basis. You go through and you click on the view details for each plugin, and it pops up and tells you how old the plugin is there. In those details, you'll find out real quick how old it is. If it's 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, it's one that you want to consider for replacement. 3, 4, and 5 and 6-year-old plugins don't mean bad. It just means old. You'll have to check to see, is this plugin got security issues that nobody's talked about? Anything along that line. Not only that, I'm looking for plugins that I've known over the years, and I don't have a manual list. I should probably start a list of known plugins that just need to be turfed out because they're no longer functioning the way they do. I used to have a semi-list, but most of those are just in my head now. How do you know if the plugins are still working? Well, you can pretty much safely assume, make an ass out of you and me, but you can, if the website is still functioning, well, the plugins should be working, because if they weren't working, the website wouldn't function or it would be broken. But there are times when a plugin doesn't work the way it's supposed to and is still turned on and active. So you're also looking to see how many inactive plugins they've got on their site, and you want to get rid of all the inactive plugins. It's not uncommon for me to get into a client's site. They have 40 plugins installed, only 15 are active. So they've got, they've got shitloads of inactive plugins, which is a security risk to have inactive plugins. It's a security risk. You got to take them out. If you're not using them, get rid of them. The plugins I'm thinking of replacing work better than the ones that are already there. Again, that's mostly just experience of working with so many different plugins over the years and knowing, okay, well, form plugins, I've got form plugins I know work better than others. And I always try to recommend them. If the person is so used to their form plugin, they don't want to change it, no problem. It's just, you try to get in their hands the best plugins that will do the job. And when you get old plugins, is finding a new plugin that provides the same function as the plugin that's too old and hasn't been updated. You want one that's been updated and working with the more current code bases. So it's just a matter of going through them and checking them and reading and checking. And, the big problem is now is a lot of that's just in my head from having done this for 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 12 years now. 'Cause my youngest turns 12 this year. I've been doing it since the year he was born. That's how I keep track of how long I've been doing this.
All right. Well, the next question is, when looking over a site to see what needs doing, what are the first things you look at? What grabs your attention the most?
Okay, and grab the next question, and then we'll split it right here.
All right. Have you ever come across a site that cannot be fixed? If so, what was wrong with it that it couldn't be fixed? If not, what would have to be wrong with the site where it would be to the point of no return and you just wouldn't be able to fix it?
Okay, well, that'll be lots of fun. All right. Well, we'll come back to those after these closing credits.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
All right. Hemdian has a great comment here. For plugin age, it seems that I've previously recommended the Vendy Abandoned Plugin Check plugin that indicates all the ages in red when old. Again, I've had so many plugins run through my head that I just lose track of everything. And if I don't do it all the time, it just gets lost in the big pile of mess that's around me. So yeah, that's a great way to deal with it also. All right, so on to your question here. When looking over a site to see what needs doing, what are the first things you look at? What grabs your attention the most? First thing I look at is their site design to see, what kind of design it is and how old of a design it is and whether they want to upgrade to a better design. After that, I look to see what theme is being run and see if it's a standard old type theme or a standard new theme, or if it's a Elementor theme or something else. And now I got to pay attention, not so much yet because there's only a year or two into them now, is the Gutenberg themes. Then I go into plugins and I go scroll down through the plugins to see what plugins are in there. Kind of looking over a site right now where it's using oh God, what's the name of that builder that I appalled or hate to no end?
Beaver Builder?
No, I like Beaver Builder. I sort of wish I'd have bought Beaver Builder instead of Elementor, but no, I can't remember it now. At any rate, it's a builder. I actually bought it like 4 years ago and I started using it, and then it got to be such a complex and it kept crashing and problems, and but anyway, the site has that builder in it along with a theme specific for that builder, along with 10 plugins specific for the theme itself. So there's a lot to go, and all of that's going to have to go in this current rebuild I'm bidding on. And then there's other plugins. I was looking over the other plugins to see what's in there. And some of the other plugins are old. There's a couple that could be done a better job. There's also, in this particular case, there's 2 plugins doing the same job in it. Both installed and active. One's installed active and being used. The other's installed active and not being used. It's like you want to clean up and get rid of the unnecessary mess. So a lot of it's going in and looking at the plugins, looking at the theme, and sort of getting an idea on what it's going to take to rebuild it. How much plumbing, how many walls do you got to tear down before you start rebuilding? How much of the actual plumbing do you got to rip out and rewire and reroute in it to rebuild the site? Some are easier than others, but on the most part, it's just a matter of digging to see what's needed.
Okay, so it sounds like what grabs your attention first is the site design and the theme. Yeah. And then after you get an idea of that, you move on to the plugin. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and if I come across a site that can't be fixed, well, no, it's like anything. It's like how much money and time do they want to spend to fix it? I haven't seen one that was so broken aside from hacked websites, and even hacked websites. When I used to do a lot of hack repairs, I had a 95% success rate at restoring a website.
Nice.
I had a very high success rate at being able to restore hacked websites, even ones that were so severely hacked that the owner was like, let's just scrap it and rebuild it. And I said, well, here's how much it'll cost you to rebuild. Here's how much it'll cost you for me to actually go in and fix it. Which one do you want to spend? And the other problem is to scrap a site, you can lose a lot of information along the way that you have to re-enter and redo. And the older a site is, the more it's worthwhile to fix it. And almost all of them can be fixed. It's just, what do you want to fix and do? So I haven't run into any that couldn't be fixed. At the point of no return is when they're like, yeah, I don't want any of the content on this site. Let's start over from scratch. That's the only point of no return I know. Other than that, it's always like it can be fixed. I haven't added.
The second part. Sorry.
The second part.
The second part of that was, if you haven't come across that you haven't been able to fix, what would have to be wrong with it in order for it to be so broken that it can't be fixed?
A super severely damaged database where there is no backup.
Ah, okay.
A super severely infected database, or one that is so corrupt that you can't get the data to come back out clearly, and if there is no backup. I've had sites where I've had to go back 6 months or a year for a database that worked and was functional, and we were able to retrieve that much data and then move forward again. They only lost 6 months or a year's worth of data. They didn't lose their 5 years or 6 years or however many years it was previous. So the only way I could see it being at the point of no return is if the database is corrupt. Because you got to remember, in WordPress, everything is contained in the database except for the images. The images and documents you upload, that's the only thing that's not part of the database. Everything
Okay.
else is in a database. All the settings, all of the content, everything else is part of the database. The rest of it is just paint on the walls. The database is the core to it. If your database is corrupt, you lose everything. That's why backups are important, is to make backups on a regular, semi-regular basis, at least monthly. So if something goes wrong, you only lose a month worth of data. So I used to preach that a lot, but I got out of the habit of preaching backups to people.
Backup of the backup of the backup of the backup.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I need that. I need that one thing for this thing here. At any rate, that's really all there is to it, and that's all we got. So I think with that, we'll close out the show. That's all we got. So a little bit of Days of Thunder to carry us on out of here.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Alrighty. That's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Adios, mofo.